Hey, Faith family, my name is Stephen, and I get the privilege of introducing you to the Song of Songs. We're going to read it beginning this week in our Bible reading plan. If you've not joined us in our Bible reading plan, let me encourage you to do so. You can find that at our website, faithnc.org. But this week, we're going to start the book called the Song of Songs. Maybe you've heard it referred to as the Song of Solomon. It's part of the wisdom literature in the Old Testament. The author of the book has traditionally been seen to be Solomon because in chapter 1, verse 1, the Bible starts there, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Now, in 1 Kings chapter 4, we find out that Solomon is the author of many songs. So, traditionally, the book has been attributed to him, but the way that it's worded, it doesn't have to be Solomon. And so here recently, there have been more theologians that have questioned whether it really is written by Solomon or not. Either way, it is a book that is in honor of or either by Solomon. It's dated around his reign as well. Whether the book was authored by him or not, we have evidence in the book that points to some locations that would have been in the northern kingdom, which the northern kingdom would not have split from the southern kingdom until immediately following Solomon's death. So whether it was for him or by him, we still believe that the book was written, composed in his reign. The book certainly mentions Solomon throughout, so it may actually be of him. Now, we come to the book of Song of Songs, or the Song of Solomon, and wonder, how do we interpret this book? This is one of those books in the Old Testament that has a broad range of interpretations, and the way that you want to interpret or see the framework of the book determines a lot of how you read the actual poetry or song that is in the book. And so there are people that all the way up until the 19th century, the major reading of the Song of Songs was that it was an allegory of God's relationship to his people. So early Jewish interpreters would say that it was God to Israel. Christian interpreters up until the 19th century would say it was Christ and the church, and it's an allegory of his relationship. Today, it is mostly read by interpreters as a love poem that may or may not point us to some greater reality. Even as a love poem, there are multiple ways to interpret it. There are some that believe it's between Solomon and his lover, the Shulamite. Some believe that it is a young shepherd and a young shepherdess, and Solomon speaking into that. Some believe that it is between two young people, and Solomon is the one that's trying to pull away this Shulamite from her lover. However you want to interpret it, I believe that we need to look at the book and see, what does the Bible as a whole tell us about the Old Testament, and what does the book of Song of Songs tell us that would give us clues in how to interpret the book? Well, first of all, because the book is either by Solomon or in honor of Solomon, I don't think we can rightly interpret it as pointing out that Solomon is trying to steal away a lover from someone that she loves. I don't think that would be the way God would have a view of marriage. And this book clearly puts marriage in the center of the love poem. So, nor do I believe then that the entire book of the Old Testament that an entire book of the Old Testament doesn't point us in some way to Christ. According to Luke chapter 24, Jesus says that the whole Old Testament is pointing to him. And so I think we need to read this book in a way that would both honor Solomon, because it is either by him or for him, and what does this book tell us about Jesus? So based on that, I want you to read this book as we read it together as a church in this way. Read it as a love poem, a love song that celebrates the human gift of love that God has given us, and he's given us to be expressed and experienced within marriage. Because then this picture of love and marriage and intimacy is such a perfect love and intimacy and marriage, the book, I believe, also clearly points us to Christ and his love for the church. Now, not to see either one of those, to see one of those and not the other, I think is a mistake. So as you read it with two things in mind. First, read it with interest in viewing this beautiful picture of marriage so that we can see what marriage should be. And as you read that, you'll celebrate and emulate this beautiful, pure longing of pursuit between two young people, two lovers, this shepherd and this Shulamite maiden. See how they pursue one another with passion and with purity. Celebrate their wedding and their consummation of their love and this descriptions, really physical, graphic descriptions of their enjoyment of sex within marriage as God intended it to be. And then learn from the joy of their intimacy, their friendship, the stresses upon their relationship as they are separated for a time, the forgiveness and restoration that is in marriage. See all of that there and apply it to our marriages. One woman, one man in this one flesh relationship. But also as you read it, reflect on the perfect union that this wedded couple shows us, and let your mind be taken to Christ and His love for us, so that by the time you get to chapter 8, verses 6 and 7 in the conclusion of the book, that we will see together not only our commitment to human marriages that are characterized by this strong love he's going to talk about, or she's going to talk about in the end, but we'll also worship the God who placed His love upon us. And it's revealed in Christ's love for His church, so that we could then declare in chapter 8 with this bride, set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal on your arm. For love is as strong as death. Jealousy is as unrelenting as Sheol. Love's flames are fiery flames and an almighty flame. A huge torrent could not extinguish love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. So learn about your marriage and maybe the marriage that God may call you into one day, but most of all, learn about the marriage that we have with Christ and that strong love that cannot be swept away that Christ has put upon us. You enjoy the book. God bless.